hard time adjusting to things here. I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, I've managed to do a lot of stuff. Got a lot of things painted. Did a lot of stuff. Put my hair up because I need a haircut. And I just haven't got around to it. Things are just starting to open up around here, so that's good. I'm hoping they're not going to open up too much. I hope you can hear me. I have a fan going. I have to have a fan going because it is humid out. It's not that hot. Just the humidity is crazy. It is in my area all the time, and it's getting worse every year. So much for global warming. Anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about. It's very difficult being Canadian these days. It's especially difficult being a Christian Canadian. I don't know how many of you out there have heard about the graves at the residential schools where all the children are buried. And I'm so angry with our government, past and present. For decades they kept this from us. They suppressed the Indigenous people's voices because they were saying for years things like this were happening, and we never heard about it. I never heard about residential schools until long after I finished college. Nobody talked about it. It's only in the recent maybe 20 years that things have started leaking out, that there were abuses done and things like that, and only just very recently, like what, a month, where we found the graves. And we like to think, well, we were raised to believe that Canada was a gentle, kind, loving country that was against racism. We didn't say that we didn't have any racism, but we thought we didn't have as much. You know, honestly, we actually believed that we were the good guys. We were raised to believe that Canada was the good guys. Everybody loved us. And the whole time, they were lying to us. The whole time, they had Native kids being raped and beaten to death in schools and never returned to their families. And that hurts. That hurts on so many levels. I have a paternal grandmother who's Métis, but they never really talked about their ethnicity. You know, it wasn't a big deal. And I certainly don't look it. I resemble my mother's side of the family, which is all European. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I could be pure white, and I would still be horribly upset by this. I'm offended, and I'm angry, and I'm embarrassed, and I'm ashamed, and I want to do something. And I wish I could go back in the past and change it, because I'd like to believe that if we knew about this sooner, the general population, that we would have done something to stop it. I'd like to believe that. And I think we would have, you know. But our government lied. They lied and lied and lied for generations. And I'm so angry about that. I'm so angry. And I think other people should be too. And as to the Christian aspect, well, there are Christian communities who are fond of the phrase, what would Jesus do? Well, he sure as hell wouldn't rape and beat children to death. The people that ran those schools were not Christians. They may have said they were Christians, but they were not Christians. I'd like to tell you my feelings upon Christ. It may not be a popular view. I don't get bogged down with the miracles and the resurrection and the virgin birth. It's not that I don't believe them, I just don't think they're that important. I think what's important is what Christ tried to do while he was here. And I like to think of Christ as the original hippie. He lived in a commune, he shared all his worldly goods, and he preached about love and peace and tolerance and acceptance. Jesus wouldn't refuse to heal somebody because they're native, or because they're gay, or because they're a different color, or they're a different religion. If you needed help, he would have helped you, regardless. If you wanted to talk to him, he would talk to anyone. prince or pauper. That's what Jesus would do. He wasn't here to harm anybody, and yet there's been so many things done in his name that are horrific, and it hurts, because Christians aren't supposed to behave that way. That's not who we are. Those babies were taken from their families. So many babies. And you know, I've been watching the testimonials of people who are finally being heard, the survivors. And it's hard to hear. And it upsets me. But I'm listening over and over again, because that's the least I can do, is finally hear them. And I listened to this one man who was 65 years old. And he was okay telling his story about what happened to him. And then he got to the point where at 7 years old, they made him bury his sister. They made the kids dig those graves. The graves of their friends and their siblings. Babies burying babies. Like, how horrific is that? It's terrible. And I'm so angry. And I'm so hurt. And my heart is broken for our Native people. And if you don't feel that way, then there's something wrong with you. And as a white person, we need to be allies. We need to stand up with our Native people. We need to write letters and sign petitions and protest and do whatever we can to fix what's wrong with the reservations right now. Because that's the least we can do. They should at least have the amenities that we do. They should at least have the amenities that other Canadians do. Clean water. Try to fix what's wrong. Help them with their infrastructure. Do whatever we can. Give them back some of their land. You know, work with them. They just want the same things that we have. And why don't they have them? It doesn't make any sense. This is a painful, painful time in Canada. And it's a painful time for Christians. Because even though most of us who are going to church now probably weren't any part of what happened. In fact, most of us probably didn't even know. But that's no excuse. We know now. So listen, protest, do what you can, hear them out. Realize that there are horrific things being done in this world in Jesus' name. And he wouldn't want it. He wouldn't be happy with us right now. I think he's very disappointed. Has been for a long time. But it's all out now. And nothing is hidden. So we need to do what we can to help them deal with this and to help them live a better life. We can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. We need our government to help us with fresh water and things like that. These are government agencies. They need our help. And we gotta help them. And this goes along with all kinds of bigotry in this country. We don't want Canada to be thought of like this, do we? We don't want Canadians to be thought of as evil people that kill babies. Kill babies. We don't want to be thought of as people who let our black members of our society be abused by police and government agencies or ignored. The people of color, all the minorities, they should be equal. They should be treated equally. We're all human beings. And we're all Canadians. We need to step up. You know, we need to fight against it, even in small ways. Like if somebody starts to tell you a racist joke or refers to somebody as the N-word or a wahoo. We need to say, hey, it's bullshit. You know, we don't talk like that. We don't call people that. That's not who we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we want to be. And the only change that we can make is change within ourselves. Be the change you wish to see.